Hello guys, welcome again. So new live stream. So let's talk about Bitcoin, and well, actually Bitcoin is doing something very interesting. Let me show you right now. So as you can see here, Bitcoin, we have this breakout a couple of weeks ago, right here, where Bitcoin was 110, 111,000 dollars. From there we saw this breakout. Well, perfect, okay. So I got to stop it actually here, and now we are around $119,000, where the peak was $123,000. Now the thing here is what is happening right now, what we can expect right now in 1 day chart is actually doing very well, is holding this range between 116 to 120k around there. And now the question is, what is going to be the next move? Well, first of all, here, as you can see here, we have ADX negative with sell signal here. So the projection is sideways, as you can see right now is happening. Yes, sideways and downside, right? Downside. Where the target should be always the ME55. In this case, around $112,000. Now the question is, um, what I'm doing, right? Of course, I am not a financial advisor, right? You can do whatever you want. But in my case, what I'm doing right now, I am in short term, I am trading this range between this level around 116 to 119. And also, as you can see here, Bitcoin is testing again the resistance, this area, right? You can see in volume profile, this is the resistance. No, thank you, no longs here, right? So looking in the short term for another test to maybe 115, $16,000, just playing ping pong here sideways in the short term, okay? So this is actually just in short term 4-hour chart. That's all, 4-hour chart. One more thing here, if we use OBV, of course, you can see here this bounce, right? This bounce now is testing the ME55 here in 4-hour chart. We will see a sell signal in 4-hour chart. In my humble opinion, this is a short position right now. Actually, I am in short, looking for reaction, right? Continuation, looking for 115, 116. Now, there is a major signal right now firing for Bitcoin in 1 day chart. Let me show you. In 1 day chart, we have volatility contraction here, finally for Bitcoin. So the next massive move in 1 day chart is coming, but this time we don't have volume. That's my concern. We don't have volume here. Officially, we don't have volume in 1 day chart. So there is a very high probability this could be a pullback. I mean, something like this, right? Something like this. Now, in 1 day chart, everything is fine. Bitcoin is in uptrend, right? We can expect maybe Bitcoin will go to 1 million, right? Because now Ethereum, right? Now people want to trade Ethereum because now it's in resistance and suddenly they are bullish, right? Yeah, sure. Now let's continue with something. Let me show you 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart, actually this bounce here is because in 12-hour chart we got this very small bullish divergence. I noticed this bullish divergence in this weekend, but I don't trade weekends. But this bullish divergence is very small, and also volume is not our friend. So there is a very high chance this move to the upside is a fake out. Okay, so eventually this week we will see Bitcoin again testing 115, 114. I will keep my shorts open. Now, let me show you something else. Of course, I'm gonna, after this video, I'm gonna send my trading notes. You are in the investing channel, also in the trading. You are supporting this channel. You will get this notification where actually I am opening my positions. But in the big picture, I am very careful right now because you see here we have to the chart. 1 second. Sometimes trading view is very slow, and we have here massive better divergence here into the chart. Not just only that, actually, for first time since April in this year, OBB is below zero line. So this move is actually very weak. Now let me show you here 3-day chart. We have similar setup, better divergence from here, right? In a 3-day chart, plus we have here a obvious reaction, a new low of this OBB. So this move, all of this move, my friends, from 110 to 120k, in my humble opinion, is a massive bull trap. Okay, same as similar to 2021. But the thing here is, based on the probabilities, we have a better variance here. Of course, the ADX is still positive. So what I'm looking for is ADX getting negative here, but OBB is clear. Bitcoin is losing. I mean, this move to the upside is not very strong. Actually, it's weak. If I show you weekly chart, this is the major signal Bitcoin is firing right now. Yeah, I know some of you are super bullish and you are in long position and you are making profits. Congratulations. Actually, I'm very happy for you. Very happy for you. But this is the reality. Bitcoin not just have one virus divergence, actually have Bitcoin has multiple virus divergence right now in weekly chart. Let me show you here. We have here from this point, right? Let me show you here from, let me fix my chart. Okay, we have right now a Bitcoin from this high and this high, right? And this high as well. And also not just only this high, actually all of this high here, new high here. We have multiple variance variance here in OBB. Let me show you here. From this high here, this pivot, we have all of this, right? And not just only that, Bitcoin right now is trading below the ME55. Now, this week is extremely important because if we see rejection, something like this, right? Something like this, right? OBB is actually getting rejected by the ME55. Officially, this the better divergence in OBB is going to be confirmed. And plus, not just only that, we have the better divergence again here in weekly chart for curve. So the projection, of course, we 115, 116. Closing below there, I will start looking for around 105, 100, actually 100K. That is going to be the target in the long term if Bitcoin actually confirm this the better divergence. But not just only that, this is very concerning here, because finally I can see not just only one, multiple parallel variance in OBB. It's actually very rare to see this kind of cases, and not just. My point here is, like, if you compare the volume here in OBB in 2021, 2020, it was actually very big. But now this bull market, the last 2 years, the volume here is a joke. Okay, this is a joke, as you can see here. Bitcoin, of course, in the bigger picture, I think all of this move, of course, is very healthy, right? It's looking very healthy. But my point here is the volume. If we compare this volume with 2020, 2015, 16, honestly, Bitcoin is in volume, right? Volume, not price. Volume is very concerning. So if you think, based on my experience, right, this is a speculation, this is not technical analysis, but if we see a crash potentially this year or next year, I don't think Bitcoin will hold for long term 100K or 70K. I think based on the volume, of course they are supports, but potentially they could break very easily, because actually Bitcoin, the volume here is not very strong. Now let's talk about something else. Let me show you the monthly, because we have a monthly close very soon, and the monthly close actually is very interesting. Some of my traders, the traders they are in my group, they said, well, we have invalidation of the sell signal. I don't know, maybe it's not my system, maybe it's because the ADX, right, here is positive here and it's invalidation. No, it's not invalidation. The only thing is telling you here, for some reason, right, I don't know the reason exactly, of course, because I cannot predict the market, this kind of moves OBB like ADX. If you study the history of Bitcoin, is the first time something like this happened. Let me show you here. ADX negative, ADX negative, ADX negative, ADX negative. Here is the first time we have this negative, and after that positive like this. Is the first time. We don't have information like to say, oh well, this is invalidation. I don't think so, because as you can see here, we have something very interesting is happening right now. Bitcoin over time is not just building. In price is looking amazing, right? My point here is, in price is looking awesome, right? We are making a lot of money up to the moon, right? But if you see the volume, remember OBB is, the theory is this, right? The volume must follow the price, right? In this case, let me show you something very interesting here. We have this high, and we have this high, lower high, another lower high. We have from a high of 174 and 110 and 120. We have 1, 2, 3 strikes of bearish divergence. So what I'm trying to say here is like, I know you are very bullish. I am bullish, right? In the short term, I am bullish. I mean, the fact is Bitcoin actually in uptrend. I got stopped my last short in around 110, but the signals, right? The warning signals, actually, they are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So what I'm doing right now? Well, in the short term, of course, I am in long position, right? Trading this range, right? In the short term, right? Trading this range, right? Making some profits, right? But in the big picture, right? I am not. I am against maybe all of you guys, because all of you guys, you are very bullish. Maybe some of you bought Ethereum and you are making profits, and some of you bought Solana, Cardano, and you want to see the market to be extended maybe 1 year. Honestly, I am hoping you are right, especially with Bitcoin dominance dropping like this is something normal. This is something I was expecting. Remember, this drop here to 61% is totally normal, right? We talk about this. The sell signal here, volatility was low, and also it's a normal pullback. But I don't get it why always when you see this kind of moves, oh yeah, we're also season to the moon, right? No, no. This is just a pullback to what? To keep bouncing, right? Because a trend is my friend until the end. This is a trend, right? So careful here. You are right now very bullish, right? Especially in altcoins, especially in Ethereum, because now Ethereum, wow, is doing something very interesting. We will talk about Ethereum in the next in the next section of this live stream. But the point here is with Bitcoin dominance, we are in uptrend, right? We are in uptrend here. Of course, the volume is very, very healthy. I will be very careful with that statement like we are in altcoin season. In the short term, of course, yes, maybe a couple months, yes, but in the big picture, like holding 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, Solana or something like that, because I'm gonna make 10x. I don't know, like it's a very innocent way of thinking. So in my case, I am a swing trader. I take profits. I don't care about about the fundamentals. I don't care holding 10 years one thing. No, I want to take profits in every 3 months, every 6 months, maximum 1 year. But that's my profile. If you want to hold forever and ever, it's fine. You are not trader. You are investor, and it's totally okay. I am totally okay with that. Now the thing here is like if we analyze Bitcoin dominance, crossing zero line here, yeah, curve volume is very healthy. Testing the MI55, I'm bullish. I am bullish here, looking for actually a bounce. Yeah. If we go to 1 day chart, of course, we don't have volume here. So the best scenario right now here is Bitcoin dominance must be right now in sideways here, right? In sideways here, right? For maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, or maybe next month in August, and after that a bounce. Yeah. And that is your alt season, right? It's very funny. So the thing here is I am showing you the facts. Of course, I make mistakes, right? I am a human, same as you. I got wrecked a couple times this year, but overall, everything is doing well. Yeah, my performance actually not bad, right? Of course, I wish I could be better, but I'm actually improving more and more now. In the long term, is where actually is looking more positive. I'm talking about not this year, maybe by the end of the year, or maybe next year. Right now here, yes, we have a better variance right now here, and we sell signal formally speaking in the monthly. Yeah. So technically speaking, the move should be sideways to the downside. Now we're analyzing here potential alt season. Yeah, you are right. The problem with this setup here is right now the ME55 is gonna be a support. Yeah, and that's the issue I have. In the past, why we got a very strong support or very strong alt season in 2020 is because the ME55 was resistance, right? The monthly. And that's why, of course, after this rejection, the obvious target was the basement. It's usually like that. But in this case, it's not the same, right? Is a pullback, of course, we could see maybe some altcoins keep pumping, right? Of course, yes, you can make profits with that, perfect. But I will be very careful here when you see a Bitcoin dominance testing here, the MI55 here, because this could be the next support. What I'm trying to say here, if we have an alt season potentially next year or by the end of this year, it's gonna be very short, potentially very powerful, right? Of course, I will buy some altcoins if I have the opportunity, if I see the signal, but I will, in my case, I will not. I will manage my risk properly. In the moment I see my target hit, I will just take my profits and that's it. That's it. I don't want to hold 2-3 years. And the reason is this, right? The ME55 here potentially could be a support. That means pullback and after that a continuation, right? And if we see continuation, that means altcoins potentially will keep bleeding for a while. At least they are not crashing, right? For example, Solana, right, is almost 200. 200 actually is doing very well. Between 100 to 200, very good, right? 100% profit, I think. Let me see. Yeah, well, it's very nice. I mean, there are many good opportunities. The thing here is like thinking. The thing here is that what I'm trying to say is like holding 2-3 years or altcoin, Solana, and this and that. I think that mindset, we are not there yet. That's my point. We are not there yet. The last time it was in 2022. We are not in that point. Of course, in my opinion, right? This is just my opinion, right? The only way I hold altcoins or even Bitcoin for long time, years, is when I see a major crash, like a 70% crash, 80% crash. I don't buy and hold when everything is pumping. That's my point. Okay, now let's continue with a little bit with Bitcoin, and after that, I'm gonna continue with Ethereum, because Ethereum right now, right? Ethereum is gonna be the next thing. Is gonna replace Bitcoin, right? I love YouTubers, you know, seriously. I love YouTubers. Now here, we have here in weekly chart, this the better variance right now we were talking about before, right? In RSI. Why I'm using RSI is because, of course, I have my system of trading, right? But I want to see also because RSI is very popular, very popular. You have no idea. Many retail traders, of course, I am a retail trader as well. They are using MACD and RSI because many YouTubers are using this shit. And well, yeah, at least in my opinion, is very bad. But well, the point here is like, I want to see what actually the majority, right, people they see right now. So as you can see here, we have this the better variance right now here from this point and this point, and the only way to actually fix this problem is you want to see the RSI making new higher high here. The RSI should be at this point, right? At this point, it should be today, right? I mean, the next 2-3 days should be like this, almost impossible, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, as long as RSI is below this trending line here, yeah, well, we have 1, 2, 3 strikes of better variances, okay? Same as OBB, and also we have also 3 strikes of better variances in curve. So what I'm trying to say here, the probability to see Bitcoin to the moon right now, yeah, it's possible. It's possible, yes. But the signals are getting stronger to the downside, or at least a decent pullback. Now let's talk about the monthly here. The monthly here, let me show you here. We have 1, 2, 3 strikes of better variances forming right now for Bitcoin as well again in the monthly. It's the first time we have this kind of signals. I never seen something like this. You can open TradingView and you can do it by yourself. Okay, here, this high here, higher low here, and as you can see here, we have the same setup in OBB, right? So when I was doing my homework last week, I realized all this move here without any significant correction. As you can see here, there is no significant correction, not like this one, not like this one, right? Not like this one, not yet. For 3 years, is not very healthy, yeah. And why I'm saying this is because the volume, the multiple better variants are not in our side. That's my point. Okay. So I am not bearish. I am just defensive. Getting ready, of course, as a swing trader, getting ready to take profits when my system is telling me to do that. Not because Donald Trump or because the news or because whatever. I don't care. Just I follow my system, and that's all. It's not perfect. Sometimes I will miss the trades. Sometimes I will get a stop at some. Yes, that's part of the game. Going now. Let me show you here. Let me remove the RSI here, and very soon, in the next 24 hours, potentially we could see a sell signal here. Yep. And let me show you something else. We don't have volume. Usually when we see this bounce here, the target is MA55, and after that keep falling. So, and now Bitcoin is in resistance. Yeah, is in resistance. The top of the volume profile here. I am not a financial advisor, but if you want to open a short position, the setup should be like this. The area is here, and your stop loss should be, if you are gonna use the volume profile as to set your stop loss. Usually I like to do that above the second bar. I mean this one. Yeah, something like this here. And this is my setup. You see, around 1%, something like this. So the target should be the bottom of the range. In this case, between 116 to 115, because in this time frame we are just playing ping pong, right? Something like this. This is resistance. Sorry, this is support. Let me change the color to green. I'm gonna change here the color to red. Yeah, something like this. This is resistance, and this is the top. Yeah, in the short term, of course, 4 hour. After we get the signal, well, when we are playing range like this, usually I like to open shorts. I'm trying to anticipate the move, looking for this move, because when you see the signal here, it's gonna be too late. Why? Because of course curve and my indicators, they are not all indicators in the market, they follow the price. You will never see real-time indicator, right? All of them, they have to wait for the volume or the price, and after that they will show you the result in the indicator. So we have this delay. So now that is the setup, right, in 4 hour chart, right? And 1%, no more than that, right? No more than that. The risk management is the most important thing here. Many people just they think how much money they can make in the markets. In my case, I am just thinking how much money I cannot lose, right? I don't want to lose. That's the difference. Yep. Okay. This is short term, right? Of course, potentially, if this setup is correct, it could be the trigger to maybe see a major signal, but we have to wait. At least right now, we don't have confirmation for that. Okay, now let's continue with Ethereum. Let's talk about Ethereum, because Ethereum is the new guy here. It's gonna defeat Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will just crash, and Ethereum, for first time in the history, is gonna decouple from Bitcoin, right? That is the narrative right now. Ethereum is gonna decouple from Bitcoin. Ethereum will have a bull market, and all of us, we are gonna be millionaires because, well, Ethereum is now the top #1. Well, that is a narrative I see with all the YouTubers, right, and crypto influencers on X, right? Now, let's talk about facts. Okay, first of all, let's use price action. This is resistance. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't care if we see a breakout. No, thank you. That's all. As a trader, if I bought here, yep, here, my friend, is the area to take profits. That's all. That's all. That's all. Yeah. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. This is the area to say no. Okay, because we don't open longs in resistance, right? This is resistance, 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 and you want to open longs here. Very smart, very, very smart, right? No, I don't care. Sorry, Simon, I don't care. Or other guys, if you think Ethereum will hit 10k, 20k, 5k, and also we have a monthly buy signal, I don't care. As a trader, I follow a system, and my system is telling me never open longs in resistance, never open shorts in supports. This is resistance, right? If you want to open longs here, it's too late. You have to wait for the breakout, very strong breakout, maybe 5,000, 6,000, and after, when you see the pullback, in some point, you can open longs again. Not here, okay? Here, Ethereum is just testing the area, okay? Testing the resistance, that's all, okay? Now, let's talk about indicators. First of all, the facts right now here is Ethereum is in sideways, where the top is 3,800, 4,000, and the bottom right now, based on volume and confluence, is around 1,500. This is the area, like actually Ethereum is just in sideways, doing something like this, right? Something like this, something like this. Now, let's talk about the indicators. Now, let me show you the indicators. Right now here, we have a, well, weekly chart is strong, right? Look at this signal actually fire here when Ethereum was at 1,600, and now ADX negative here. And now here, one thing here is the volatility is super low here, and we will see a sell signal very soon. Volume is very healthy. What I'm trying to say here is like if we see a pullback, it could be a buy opportunity, maybe 1-day chart, something like this, right? Something like this, okay? I am not expecting a crash. That's my point. I am not expecting a crash, yeah? Ethereum could have opportunity to maybe actually decouple for Bitcoin, from Bitcoin, potentially yes, yeah. But historically speaking, that never happened, and I don't think so. I don't think as long as Ethereum and Bitcoin has more than 50% Bitcoin dominance, I don't think so. Monthly, this is the chart. This is the most important chart on all crypto world right now, right? People are super bullish because it's this candle. This candle is looking super powerful. You see, super powerful, green, and people now they are in FOMO looking for this. Yeah, possible. Yeah, yeah. If that happen, that is gonna tell us. This is telling us finally is Ethereum is gonna be the first altcoin in the history of crypto, right? Like is the coupling for Bitcoin potentially, yeah. But that is just I don't know in my imagination, right? Let's talk about facts. First of all, in the monthly here, right? Investors, right, and smart people, because we don't know if Ethereum will keep pumping, right? Here is where we take profits. That's all because it's resistance. Of course, the ME55 is support, support, and support. Of course, a major crash. I was looking for 1,000. Well, in my first of all, 1,500 hit very good, and the second target was 1,000. It didn't hit. It's fine. Now, the question is this buy signal legit, real? Honestly, I don't think so, and I will tell you why. First of all, if this signal is real, it's very strong. It's gonna be the first time an altcoin is actually against Bitcoin. Second thing here is we don't have here volume in monthly, but if we go maybe for example bi-weekly chart, we can see the volume. There is no volume in bi-weekly to support this move. Yeah, I will be very bullish if volume here in bi-weekly, for example, is actually very strong here, very strong, something like this, super high. Yes, that is actually the best signal to start thinking, oh well, volume is coming to the markets. Ethereum is the number one. Is gonna defeat Bitcoin potentially, yes. And from here, 10,000. Okay, so that's why I am not saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is the probability. The probability, at least for me, is not very strong. Now let's talk about the bi-monthly here. We don't have a very strong. You know where I can check? I think Kraken, right? I think Kraken. Let me see. Let me see if I think Kraken is the oldest, or Bitstamp potentially. Let me see Kraken, because I remember Kraken. They have one of the oldest charts of Ethereum. Binance is just from 2018. Let me see. Kraken is from 2020. No, you can help me and tell me which exchange has the oldest data of Ethereum is going to be very helpful. Maybe Bitstamp, because Bitstamp is the oldest since 2021. Maybe. Oh, nice. Okay, You see, this is the data since 2015. Perfect. I think this is going to be very useful. With this information, we can actually, with more data, we will know what is going on. Now let's talk about weekly chart again. Weekly chart, let me see. Volume is healthy. Bi-weekly, and let me see. Same thing here. Interesting. Very, very interesting here. The volume of Ethereum is garbage, as you can see here, breaking the zero line here. So here in February, right below the zero line, technically is not very strong, and it got rejected in December 2024. And we will see the zero line, not just only the zero line. Remember, zero line is the resistance as well, and also not just zero line which is going to be tested, also the MA55 together. So there is a very high probability if we see this test, potentially it's going to be a rejection. I will be very bullish, of course, if we see that we be breaking here this level. Yeah, if you see this level breaking, yeah, in my weekly chart, I'm telling you, if you see that, it's gonna be awesome. Now, in my weekly chart, with the signal is still present here in my weekly chart, so I'm looking for potentially another. I want maybe a spike to maybe 4,500 is possible, but as I said before, like I will be very careful thinking with this mindset, right? Like, oh yeah, this signal here in the monthly is super legit, and YouTubers for first time in the history are actually correct. I don't think so. So careful here. Of course, I am not saying I am bearish. Of course, no. I am just skeptical. That's my point. Thinking, following this narrative, like Ethereum is gonna defeat Bitcoin and it's gonna be finally the first altcoin, like it's gonna decouple from Bitcoin. I think that is not right. At least not the right way of thinking. I am not bearish. I am bullish here, but here, my friend, is not, at least for me as a trader, swing trader, investor, this is not the moment to buy. The moment was here. One more time, if you want to buy Ethereum, right, because now is the new thing again, right, following your basic principles of trading, you have to wait for the breakout, and after that the retest, something like this, and after that in the future, maybe in a few months, you can just do the moon 1 million if you want. But here, no, because here is just testing the resistance, right? It's testing the resistance, that's all. Okay, now let's continue with more. I'm gonna continue with Solana, because actually Solana is, personally speaking, I'm looking for Solana. I'm watching Solana since 2023, looking for a major pullback. I want to buy Solana, personally speaking, right below 100. Yeah, that is something I want to do, but I have to wait. Right now, Solana is still in sideways here. Volatility contraction here. Careful here with Solana, because volatility contraction here, and the move is actually moving to the upside, so it's not expanding. So there is a probability, like we could see this move is just a bull trap. Okay, bull trap, because one thing, you want to see two things. You want to see the volume following the price, and you want to see volatility expanding when the price is moving. If you see the price moving but volatility is contracting, that is not the move you are looking for. Usually the opposite direction is the real move. In this case, we have volatility contraction here. The move is to the upside. In this case, if we have a sell signal here, potentially that signal is going to be the real one. Okay, now let's continue. Let's continue with more. Let's talk about Cardano. Cardano right now here is in sideways, same as Bitcoin. You see, very, very careful here, because it's in sideways. It's in sideways, that's all. It's in sideways with where the support is 0.50, resistance, it should be around maybe 0.90, around there. That's all. Okay. I think right now the altcoin, like people are watching right now, all of them is Ethereum. In my case, for first time, if I see just the signal, right, maybe in one day chart, let me see. No, volume is very good. Maybe in the short term we could see a spike, maybe 4,000 again. 4,000 could be in the one day chart, and I will consider. I will start considering, thinking like potentially I will open shorts for Ethereum only if I see some confirmation, but not now, because I don't trade altcoins in futures. Always I just buy and hold. But yeah, not now. Now let's continue with USD dominance, because actually USD dominance is extremely important. Extremely important. And you see, we have a bullish divergence forming right now here in USD dominance, and actually it's very interesting here. Let me show you. Let me show you. No, we don't have bullish divergence. No, sorry. No, we don't have it. But we will have a buy signal very soon. And we don't have bullish divergence in OBB. OBB got rejected here in volume. Very nice rejection. I'm still thinking this is a consolidation. Let me see the monthly. The monthly here, oh wow. Okay, in weekly chart we don't have the bullish divergence, but let me see. Interesting. This is still in consolidation. I cannot be bearish here. This is consolidation still. As long as USD dominance is below 40%, this is actually good. Now, there is some hope for all the bulls there. If you see a close below 4%, the next target is going to be 2%. And yeah, Ethereum will go to 1 million, right? And Bitcoin to 200K if you want. But as long as USD dominance is around this area, 4%, I am just defensive. Now let's talk about, let's continue with more XRP. XRP is actually doing something very interesting here. We have a buy signal here. Usually when you see this kind of signals in the last moment, right? In the last moment, a pump is pumping, right? But volume is telling you what is going on. In volume, XRP got rejected by MA55. So this move, I will be very careful with this move, because now we have a wonderful, beautiful bearish divergence in weekly chart. We have a wonderful bearish divergence. Yeah. From this point and this point, and also not just only that, we have also OBB, and we got the confirmation with this reaction. Okay, so well, careful here. Now let's continue with more. Let me see, Monero, right? Monero, where is Monero? Yeah, this one. The technical analysis there, my friend. I said this is to the downside, as you can see, got rejected, and of course the volume is still healthy, but we have a sell signal here in the weekly chart, looking for 240 in the long term, and potentially another 160, potentially, right, if this area breaks. The first target is this area, the middle of the range, around here, and let's see from there. Okay guys, I think let me continue with the comments. Bill, welcome. Manik, let me see. The volume seems really low compared to previous bull years. Is it because a lot of people are holding? No, it's not because of that, my friend. The real reason is because, well, this is just BCA means volume analysis. Okay, you can search about it. If we perform BCA here with volume, right? You can only use the volume indicator, the basic volume indicator. Yeah, you don't need a fancy volume indicator to understand this. Okay, let me show you here. In the beginning, right, before institutions, before many companies started joining to the crypto space, we have this historical date. Please, you started here, maybe most of you started here in 2020. Guys like me, Bill here, we are getting old. We started many years ago. So in my case, I started around 2000 in the stock market around 2012, around there. Bitcoin around the first time I bought Bitcoin was at $1,000. Yes, around here. And there is one very important date. I cannot remember exactly the date exactly, but it was around January, around here. This line, okay? Let me change the color here. I'm gonna tell you something like you will not. Maybe many YouTubers, they don't talk about this because, well, their goal is just selling you something, a shitcoin, and selling you a course or something like that. In my case, I am just trading. I am just sharing with you my experience. I could be wrong, of course. Just take what is useful for you and don't listen all the things I'm saying if they are not useful. You don't have to agree with me all the time. The thing here is that, at least in my opinion, this is my opinion, right? This line here, the red line, is before and after. Before, we couldn't short Bitcoin. Before, no shorts. We couldn't short. The only way to short, well, technically, it was just selling Bitcoin. The only way to short, in theory, it was just selling. So, Bitcoin was driven by community before 2018. Only community, early adopters. Mostly, crypto, this chubby guy, black guy, I can't remember his name. He bought Bitcoin at $1 and that kind of things. All of them, they were early adopters. Okay, they bought around here in the genesis of Bitcoin 2011. And of course, it was the best time to buy Bitcoin. Why? Because we couldn't short Bitcoin, right? That's why they made a lot of money. Yeah. Without technical analysis here, my only conclusion is just they were hoping, and they were right. Nice, congratulations. But after 2018, the CME entered to the market for Bitcoin, institutions, and the narrative is, well, we are going to see Bitcoin to the moon, $1 million, 2 million, 10 million, right? MicroStrategy is saying this kind of shit. Of course, they have to say these kind of things because they are selling you. It's the same thing like these people from AI. They are telling you AI is going to be the blah, 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 and these kind of things because it's their job. They are making money with that. They have to tell you it's going to be the revolution. Please remember, what is happening with AI, it happened 10 years ago with blockchain, remember? Blockchain is going to be the future. The thing here is like right now here in the markets for Bitcoin after 2018, after CME entered to the game, now institutions, they can buy and short Bitcoin. Yeah. The news were released in 2018. Bitcoin crashed from 19K to $6,000. And from there, it's sideways, and after finally crashed to $3,000. Okay. So it was a major crash of around 80%. Okay. And since then, of course, the price is moving, right? It's moving, it's pumping, right? But there is something they cannot hide, is the volume. And you don't need a fancy indicator like OBB, like my indicators to understand this concept. In the beginning, the volume was raising up and the spikes, you see? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The last biggest investment for Bitcoin was in October 2015, November. This spike is the only data we have is showing us the last biggest investment when it was at 300. Since then, every time when the market is moving up, the volume is decreasing. You see? So what is this telling you? Well, you follow, you study what you know, understand what is BCA, volume study analysis. Is the volume is moving up, right? Is decreasing. The price is moving up. This is telling you all the people who bought in this area 2015, 2017, 2018, especially here in 2018, this accumulation, institutional money from companies, they bought here in this period according to the volume. Little by little, they are just cashing out. Of course, they don't want to just sell everything like MicroStrategy. One day they will sell. We don't know when, but they will sell. And the proof like they will sell is because I know you said you see on X, right, and Twitter and social media, MicroStrategy bought I don't know how many Bitcoins. What is the volume? Show me the volume. A significant spike of volume. There is no something like that. There is nothing like that. So what I'm telling you right now is volume is decreasing every time. So usually when you see these kind of things is investors, early adopters are here, institutions, retailers are here. That's my point. So that's why this move is not looking very organic. Organic from the perspective in price action, yes, it's looking organic, right? Because you see it's a trend. But from volume perspective, is looking like a massive bull trap, right? Of course, I cannot tell you when it's gonna happen, how, but if we follow the theory of volume, what I'm trying to say here is this move over time, the resistance, the support, and everything, the support is Bitcoin is forming here for a few months, they are not very strong because the confluence, the only confluence we have is here, is this one. When Bitcoin was around 60, 65, $64,000. Historically speaking, if Bitcoin breaks 65, 64, we will see a major crash all the way down to maybe 20K. Because the volume here is very, very low, that is something when you see is in other markets. Let me just explain this better. Here in all this area is early adopters, investors, institutions. Yep. In this block here, in this area, yeah, where the volume is here, is still high, and it makes sense, right? 2018, institutions, they enter to the game. Early adopters are here, institutions are here, right? And finally, from here, all this area is, at least in my opinion, right? In my opinion, are just the last, the retailers, right? Like people who are just buying right now in a very, very expensive prices right now, Bitcoin, right? Because you know it will go to 1 million. So that's why the volume is getting very, very small. This price in the long term, I'm talking about over the years, is not sustainable. That's my point. Okay. I am not saying Bitcoin is gonna crash. Of course not. I don't have evidence for that right now. I have just a better survey is very strong right now forming. Yes. What I can tell you right now, next week, if we see this signal, the potential is gonna be just a pullback all the way to the MI55 around 100K. But I cannot call the crash right now because I need to see the MI55 broken first, and also I need to see more data right now, like OBB crossing the settle line here. The last time when Bitcoin crossed the settle line here in OBB is when we saw the bear, like finally the very strong bear market, right? I want to see something like this. I want to see something like this. Is happening? Not yet. We are in the beginning. Only we are in the beginning because we have to see something like this. We have to see a reaction. We have to see something like this. If we see this reaction, it could be the beginning of potential bear market, but not we are not there yet. Let me show you here. Remember this. There is a reason why OBB is my favorite indicator, and I made a mistake trying to replace this indicator because remember this move. Okay, this move is a bounce. This is the MI55 and potentially keep falling. If you study what happened in 2021, we have a similar setup. It started like this. Let me show you. We go here and here. Very, very small bounce, and this is the reaction I want to see. This is the reaction. You see? This is the reaction, and Bitcoin was at 60K here. Yeah. So that is something I want to see. Okay, guys. I think let me see, Simon. 4,000. Congratulations. I'm hoping you took profits there. Generally, after Bitcoin, instant Ethereum. Yeah. I mean, technically, right now, and we have a short-term altcoin season. Yeah, you're right. But I think Ethereum, the Bitcoin dominance is testing key support right now, so I will be just careful. Okay, now let's continue with more. I think if you have any other, let me see the stock market, because the stock market actually is doing something very interesting here. First of all, here, congratulations for all the guys, especially you are supporting the channel on my private channels, right? I shared one of my positions. It was EMD, where actually EMD did very, very well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful swing. You see? Wonderful swing. I called this like maybe 2 months ago in April, something like that, April, May. and I called this one, and it was awesome, as you can see here, right? Now, in my case, I close my position around here, 143, 44, and the rest, I don't care. I don't care because I just took my profits, and that's all. Okay, now let's continue with more. Baba here. Baba is holding the MI55. Actually, it's very interesting here, but I am not looking for new highs. Maximum maybe 130, and also weekly chart. Let me show you here. This is the MI55 here. Potentially buy sell signal here in the monthly. In the long term, right? In the long term, I am looking for. I will start looking for maybe around 80 again. Nike. I am not financial advisor, right? But this thing is wonderful here. We have a bullish divergence in the monthly, and not just only that. In 3 months chart, you're willing to wait maybe 2-3 years. This thing actually, it has potential. It has potential because historically speaking, every time when you see, we saw the B55 tested, right? Here, here, the last 2 times in 2008, 2009, and 2001, and here we saw a beautiful, beautiful bounce. So you're going to wait 2-3 years. Well, this is actually one of them. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. You can do whatever you want. Now here in Nvidia. Nvidia is looking actually very interesting here. Yep, let me show you here. The volume is testing the volume here. Usually when you see this kind of moves is just a rejection. So in short, what I'm trying to say here, this move here, we can expect potentially a pullback in the very short term. No, not short term, maybe in the couple months. Yeah, when we see a sell signal here. Now let me see the monthly here for Nvidia. Nvidia is doing very well, very well. Still with volume very healthy here, supporting the MI55 here. Well, I think it's gonna keep pumping here. But as investor, it's not the time to buy. I want to buy when it's like this, right? When it's like this, right? Not here. Okay, now let's continue with Netflix. Well, we have a sell signal here in the monthly. Let me see weekly chart. Weekly chart looking for the MI55 to be tested, same as I said before here, but it's gonna be a buy opportunity. Yeah, it's gonna be a buy opportunity, at least for me. Tesla holding here, finally firing a weekly sell signal here, getting rejected by the MI55 in the month in OBB, looking for 250 in the following months. Gold looking for, wow, gold is looking for actually a pullback all the way down maybe 3,000 maybe potentially. Now let's continue with this one is MicroStrategy. Sell signal, better variance, same as Bitcoin. Careful with this thing, it's gonna crash all the way down to 300. Amazon, well, sideways. Of course, there is no buy opportunity here. It's testing resistance. At least for me, it's a taking profits opportunity there. Let me see here. Apple, well, I think the target is there. The MI55 was the target. MI55 running out of time. Let me see here the monthly. Well, for me at least, as a trader, here is the time to start taking profits here. Let me see. Okay, Adobe. Okay, let me check. I never. Let me see. Adobe. Okay, let me see this one because I never checked this one. Oh, interesting. Sideways here. Let me see here. We have weekly charts. Sell signal is happening here. Looking for we have volume. We don't have better variance with volatility contracting here. I'm looking for a new low. Oh, around here, 220. Even less, maybe around 290. It's gonna be much better. Let me see the monthly here. Monthly buy signal very soon, but there's no volume. Be careful here. Even with the buy signal here, volume is telling you this thing is not strong. So the best thing here for me at least is waiting for volume. You wanna see like a basement around here, 250, 280. It should be the area like for me in the long term. Not this area anymore. Only here, 280, 270, 70 around there. But that's all. Okay, now let's continue with the currencies. The yen, I am very bullish here, very sad. Still looking for 200 in the long term. Major crash for this country. Let me see here the Canadian dollar. Sell signal in the monthly, holding this area, 1.30. Any close below there, you will see another leg down to 1.24. Australian dollar, looking for 0.50, 0.50, and after that a major bounce. Yep. Well, this is Shiba Inu. This is, oh my god, this is embarrassing. On this one, the peso, we have as a signal in the monthly, looking for a 16, 17, around there. Potential forming a basement. Let me see here in the higher time frames. 3-month chart. I am still bullish here, looking for another test to 17, and from there maybe another bounce to maybe 20. That's all, guys. That's all. I think that's all. Okay. That's all. I think I covered mostly everything. In the short term, 1 hour chart, right? 1 hour chart. Okay, let's see 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart, we have as a signal here, ADX still positive, volume is still positive here. So honestly, I think Bitcoin will keep us here, maybe only today, around here. But overall, for me, this is the area for shorts, not longs. Okay. Okay, guys, I think that's all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. 4 years in this channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good week.